We have made it to October, and so I want to share all of the fun vegetables that I'm transplanting out in the garden right now so that you can get a great idea of what you can be planting as well. And I'm here in the Central Valley of California, so if that's you as well, you're definitely in luck. But if you're in Zone 9 in general, you can most likely plant all of these vegetables that I'm transplanting as well. So the very first one I have right here is bunching onions, which are also the same thing as green onions. Sometimes they seem like they're different because they have a different name, but bunching onions, green onions, same thing. And you can buy them just in little clusters like this. And the cool part is that once you pull it out of its little plant cell, you can pull them apart, and you can just keep like 2 to 3 together and plant those in one spot, and then pull another 2 to 3 apart, plant those in another spot. And so you don't have to plant this whole cluster. You can break these apart and then potentially have hundreds of bunching onions from one little 6-pack. So make sure you break them apart and get the most use out of your 6-pack or however you buy them. The next vegetable I have is onions. I have some yellow onions and some red onions, and be sure to check on the variety that you're buying to make sure it grows well in your region. If you have a really reputable local nursery, they should only carry the type of onions that grow well in your area, hopefully. So just check on that first. There's short day onions and long day onions, and there's just a lot that goes into it that I'm not going to get into in this video. But your local nursery should have great varieties. If you're here in the Central Valley, in Visalia, Luis Nursery is amazing. They always have really good quality plants. This one right here is the red Creole onion. And same with regular onions. There's usually a few growing in one plant cell. So you can pull out all 3 and make sure you split them apart. You just gently pull them apart, and each one will be its own individual onion. So as you just gently pull them apart, this would be one onion, and then you'll space out the next one. So same thing, make sure you take full advantage of all the onions that are growing in one cell. Don't just plant these all together. The next veggie I have is some lettuce. So lettuce is super easy to grow directly by seed, or you can plant head type lettuces as a transplant. I recommend always direct sowing your baby mix lettuce, but if you have more of a head type variety, this is green oak leaf, you can plant it as a transplant, and it's nice to just have a little bit of a head start. I'm also going to be direct sowing some baby mix lettuce, but I have these transplants just to get a head start. And I also have some cilantro, which to me, cilantro feels like a summer vegetable because that's when all your peppers and tomatoes are coming on, but cilantro actually grows better in cooler weather. So I still have some tomatoes that are on the vine that are still producing. I have some red ones still to pick, and I have green ones that are getting ready to get red. So I'm going to get our last batch of salsa made with this cilantro, and then maybe throw it in a few other dishes throughout the cooler fall months. And next I've got some broccoli. So broccoli is a really great one. I recommend planting it as a transplant. You can direct sow it by seed, but at this point it's a little bit late. So at this point I want to get it as a transplant. I'm usually a little bit behind on my fall planting. I feel like I'm too caught up in my summer garden, and then before I know it, it's time to plant, and so I got broccoli as a transplant. Then I got some Copenhagen cabbage. So cabbage is a little bit tricky because the pests really devour it. And so I recommend putting insect netting over your cabbage if you can, and that will help keep the pest issues down. And then just really stay on top of checking for pests and treating immediately. The next one I have here is cauliflower, and it's kind of similar to cabbage in the sense that pests really attack it, and so if you can cover it with some insect netting to keep those pests away, that will really be helpful. The next one I have here is kohlrabi. I've actually never even planted kohlrabi, and I've never actually even cooked with it, so it's going to be a fun experiment. I'm excited to try it, and I'm excited to see how it grows, but it was at the nursery today, and so I thought I would give it a shot. So that's everything that I'm transplanting right now. I've also direct sown carrot seeds, radishes, turnips, all of your root crops. I've just directly sown all those by seed, and you can still keep planting a lot of those for the next few weeks to come, especially the really quick maturing crops like a radish. They grow so fast, you can just kind of continue planting them all throughout the fall. Baby mixed lettuce, same thing, so don't worry if you're a little bit behind. I have my complete Zone 9 vegetable gardening guide right here. The link will be in the description, and it gives you all of your planting dates. And I give your first fall planting date, but you can always usually plant a little bit after and a little bit before that date. I just give your average outline so that you can somewhat stay on track. And then when springtime rolls around, I have all your planting dates for spring as well. So definitely check that out in the description. And depending on when you're watching this video, if you happen to be a little bit late and you're well past October, then I would consider the really fast maturing cool crops, because then you can guarantee that you get your harvest in time. And if you head to this video right here, I go over 7 quick maturing fall crops that you can harvest fairly quickly after planting. And so those are really great crops to consider if you feel behind, or even if you don't feel behind but you just want to get a head start on them. Definitely check out these 7 quick maturing crops, and I'll see you there.